top tips to saying no. And the next part, guilt-free.
Yes.
Because we can all say no, but can we do it with ease and grace, basically? No guilt. So grab your pen and paper, because it's going to be a goodie and there's going to be insights happening. So top tips to saying no guilt-free. Moira, number 1, go.
So number 1, I'm going to start us off with the tip that we've talked about before in other episodes, is my favorite set of 3 questions to assess whether something's a yes or a no.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest, and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome to what are we? Just joking. Our deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Debz. That's me. And Moira.
That's me.
That's her. And today, I'm sure we say we've got a goodie, but today is
it's an epic goodie.
It's
goodie.
It's a leveled right up goodie we're going to talk about. But first, if you've listened to us before, fabulous. If you haven't, fabulous.
Well, welcome.
Welcome, thank you. We actually gauge our emotional well-being at the start of each podcast, and we check in halfway and we check in at the end, because there's a number from 0 to 10, and 10 being in an absolute state, frazzle, pickle, just feeling chaotic. And then there's a 0, which is 0 for Zen, where you just feel neutral. Something that's happened to you this morning isn't bothering you now. Something that's happening to you later in the day isn't bothering you. You're just sitting in that right here, right now, in the present. And there's no chaos around, because you're just literally sitting in the present. And so that's a 0, and a 10 is in a funk in capitals with lots of other things happening around you. So our intention is to bring you closer to that 0. So you're going to check in and see where you are now, and at halfway you're going to do it, and then at the end we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
So in saying that, Moira, and just for the record, we do get to those 10 and beyond.
Yes, we
states,
do.
But because of our skill set, we can bring us back to that 0 a lot quicker than some people.
Absolutely.
Yep. So Moira, what number are you at before we kick this off?
I'm going to put myself at a 2.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued at this one, and I got a little tickle. We've been talking before this show, and I was saying, hey, I have no tickle in my throat, and here it is.
You did literally just said that before we hit record.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'm actually going to put myself at a 2 just to be on the safe side. Look, there's no right or wrong. If you gauge yourself a 3 or a 7, it's okay. It's just a number. Don't beat yourself up about it. But this is definitely just a checking in where you're at. So I'm also going to say a 2. But I'm quite inspired about today's topic.
Yeah,
because this is one that can put you in that 10 state very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that, very quickly you're in the 10 and you can't get yourself out. So the topic, obviously, because everybody will know what it is, it's top tips to saying no. And the next part, guilt-free.
Yes.
Because we can all say no, but can we do it with ease and grace, basically.
Mhm.
No
Mhm.
guilt.
Mhm.
So grab your pen and paper, because it's going to be a goodie and there's going to be insights happening. So top tips to saying no guilt-free. Moira, number 1, go.
So number 1, I'm going to start us off with the tip that we've talked about before in other episodes, is my favorite set of 3 questions to assess whether something's a yes or a no. So the first question is this good for me? Yes or no. Is this good for the other or the others? Yes or no. And do I want to? Yes or no. So if any one of those 3 is a no, it's a no. Right? Because if it's not good for me, but it's good for other people, and I don't want to do it, why would I do it?
If I don't want to do it, that's the thing. If I don't want to do it.
Yes. And so it's a no.
This is actually these 3 questions, which I have in a little love heart post-it note stuck on my computer, is actually the pivotal turning point of this. This is actually the big kahuna. There you go. Podcast is over.
Yeah, we're done.
That's it.
That's it.
That's like just that tip alone. Just that tip alone is so true. It is. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Is it good for me, others? But do I want to do it? Do I want to? Yeah. Do I want to? No. It's good for me and it's good for others, and I don't want to do it. Okay.
Right. Then own it.
Then just that's exactly
at peace with it. It's okay. And here's another piece about that, saying no guilt-free. If I say no to something today, that doesn't mean never. Because maybe it's just I don't want to today because my energy's off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You absolutely. I think I'm just going to go back. Just before I go off on myself on a tangent with what you just said. Moira said, own it. I'm going to take that as number 2, because that is exactly it. Own it. Own your decision. And it's not for you to convince. So if someone says no to you, it's not for you to convince them to change.
Yeah.
But you just own it. And owning it makes a massive, massive difference. And I actually I don't know if I saved it. I really liked this. Oh, no, I didn't save it. Damn. It was just something, it was along the lines of, if somebody says they don't want to drink, it was a sober thing on one of the sober pages, Facebook pages. And it said, if people don't want to drink, offer them a non-alcoholic drink and move on.
Yeah.
And I thought that is so respectful, instead of going, why are you not drinking? What's going on? Are you,
or just have one. Oh, just have one.
Yeah, one's not going to harm you. I know. And I saw it last night and I went, oh my God, that's so true. And that's exactly it. Own it. So own your decision, but own others' decisions as well.
Right.
Honor and respect their decision. If they say no, don't poke and prod. Oh, but you're really good at it and you can do this because So I guess that's actually number 3 would be respect others.
Yeah.
Respect others' decisions, because we know how yucky it is when someone tries and twists your arm and you move into obligation and you're like, oh, I'll just do it quickly, or oh, for goodness sake, get it off my back, I'll just do it.
No, obligation piece is so unhealthy.
Yeah.
But, that leads me to, you said that was tip number 3. 2 and 3. Okay, so then tip number 4.
So tip number 2, own it. Number 3 is respect others. Yeah.
Right.
That moved very quickly from those tips, just for the record.
My tip number 4 is to give yourself the right to just say no. Not no, but maybe I need to do it this way, or maybe I need to find this, or no, it's because of this. It's sometimes we get into we say no, and then we have to feel like we have to fill in this whole story explaining how come to soften the blow, because we really feel
stop the story.
If I say no, I'm going to hurt their feelings, or I'm going to offend them. No, just no, it doesn't work for me at this time.
Yeah.
Done.
And I love that you said,
Done.
even though you say no, it doesn't mean no forever.
That's
It
right.
just means no, right now, no.
Mhm.
Can you help me carry this in? No, I've got my 2 arms are broken in a sling. No, I can't help you carry that in. So it doesn't mean you're going to say no every time. It just means
Right.
no, right now, I can't do it.
Mhm.
Like logically, I can't do it, and physically, I can't do it, and mentally, and are you serious? So,
Mhm.
so it is about that. Just yeah, being okay with being yeah, being okay
Being
with
okay with just saying, no, it doesn't work for me. That's it.
yeah. So
And
no
that's why I'm
can
saying
mean
no story,
yeah.
no explanation, no justifications, no, squirming about it. Because
Yeah,
it's being worthy of having that, right?
yes. I was just trying to think somewhere in my folder. I know. See, if I do this, Moira will know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm
Mhm.
trying to find my four.
Four
What are those
agreements.
things? Yeah, the four
Four
agreements.
agreements.
One of those is those things. He's gonna. Oh, I'm
Ah,
pulling out all my
oh,
cards.
the four
So
agreements
Moira knows
card.
them. Moira knows them off by heart. But isn't one of those about no story, no justification, or something? Be impeccable with your
Was be
words.
impeccable with your word. So no gossiping, no, explanation needed there.
Yeah.
Are you thinking
Always
of
do your
making
best.
assumptions?
Don't take things. Don't take things personally.
Yeah. Yes. No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. It's
I'm
that.
like, there's something in the four agreements along these, and I was just trying to reach into my shelf that had the things, and it is that don't take things personally. And if people take things personally that you are saying, no, thank you, I can't do it today, and they take it personally, that's not your stuff.
It's not. No, it's not for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you. It's not your stuff. But sometimes people will use that. It's like, oh, I can't do that because they'll be hurt. They'll be upset. I can't do that. So I'm not going to say no. But there you come in at that with obligation and shoulds, and this unhealthy for you and them. That's the key piece.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No one wants to have somebody who's not inspired about the job.
Yeah.
So if you go to, and I'm going to reference, I used to work in the council,
Mhm.
and you had people who worked at the council that I worked at, the city council. You had people who were, and I call them brown slippers now.
Okay.
Now, there's nothing wrong with brown slippers. I have pink slippers on now. But brown slippers are the ones who don't lift their feet.
Okay.
They scuff.
Scuff.
Yeah, they're scuffed, their shoulders are down, they're wearing the brown cardi, the brown slippers, and they're back in the 100 years old era. And you ask them to do something that's in the 2000 era, and it's like you've asked them to do something that's just too hard.
Mhm.
And so those brown slipper people, no, there's nothing wrong with brown slippers or brown cardis, but you know the ones, and you don't want to give them something because you're just like, oh, give it to Bob. Bob can do this. Bob doesn't even know how to work a computer. So you're
Right.
asking somebody, you're pushing a wet noodle. You're asking somebody who doesn't do that stuff. You're asking them to up level. You're asking them to train in something because you just want to delegate a job to somebody. Don't give it to somebody unless they're a glitter bomb about it, unless they love to do it.
Mhm.
Now, I know in an organization, if you're working for the council, it's hard to delegate to somebody else, but if you're really good at something, you can take something off somebody else
Mhm.
and swap things around. Say, look, let me do this from you every week if you take this job because I really don't like doing it.
Right.
And that actually reminds me of an organization I went to in Sydney where we sat there and we all talked about the things we loved doing in our job description and the things we didn't. And people right there and then were going, well, became an auction. I've got this. I don't like doing this. Who likes doing this? And someone goes, I like doing this. Well, I'll take that off if you take this off me. And the human resources, the two human resources and the CEO were sitting there. They looked at me like, well, the CEO actually came over and said, can you control this? And I said, it is. It's totally in control right now. Is they're swapping things off their job descriptions. But the things they didn't like doing, other people love doing. So why not delegate it to them? And they literally just swapped things on their job description. I thought it was fantastic. That was my aim. I just never told the CEO that was my aim as I went in to do that. Yeah. And they had more productivity because the people love to do the jobs. Now, if you put on, for me, if I put my red lipstick on, I feel amazing.
Mhm.
Even if I haven't washed my hair, I put my red lipstick on and I feel so much better. It's those little things. When you do something that lights you up,
Yeah.
your vibration is so much different and people are attracted to you
Mhm.
in a way of, wow, look at her energy.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're putting on your brown slippers and your cardi and you're doing a job that is not for you,
Yeah.
and the energy you're putting into that job
You're not putting any energy in. It's kind of like,
it's not going to get
it's not going
to get done on time.
Yeah.
It's not going to get done to the highest level. People who are reading it or watching it or whatever are going to feel that.
Mhm.
Like, don't put that brown slipper energy out there.
on anything.
Is what I'm saying.
On anything.
Yeah, on anything.
Yeah.
I've taken jobs off my team purely because they're like, oh my God. And I've gone to read content. Back in the day, even my mailers, I've read it and I've gone, what? And they've gone, yeah, I was having a bad day. I can read it.
Mm-hmm.
I can
Mhm.
read your mailer that you've
Yeah.
tweaked of mine, and I can feel you having a bad day. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll try better. No, you won't. You
Just
definitely will
don't.
try better. You're actually you're not doing that
Yeah.
anymore. I'm going to give it to someone else to do.
Mhm.
So it's a glitter bomb, and would be my thing is have the glitter bomb around you all the time and be able to say yes or no.
Yeah.
And be okay with that glitter bomb, because it's about you being lit up all through your life.
Absolutely. And this is going back to this thing of saying no, guilt-free. So if I'm invited to, I'm a meditation teacher, right? So if I'm invited to go and do a group guided meditation, and yet I hadn't slept and I'd been really booked up and I'm just feeling really, really tired.
Feel it. I can feel it already.
I'm going to say no. I have to say no, because I can't, as much as I love that, it's going to be dishonoring me and them, right? Because when our energy isn't engaged, that is when we owe it to ourselves to say no. And that's actually leading me to a tip to share here. I don't know what number we're at. We'll tally them at the end.
That's actually, I just want to say, because my hairdresser cancelled on me this morning, purely because she's not well. Do I want it? And she said, if you're desperate, I can get it done. I can do your hair.
Right.
No, I don't want you coughing on me. I don't even know what she's not well. I don't want you doing any of that. I don't want you around me. I want you to stay healthy. Like, no, I'm not desperate to get it done. That's just a blow wave, I'm sure I can wash and dry my own hair. But that's exactly it. But it's that whole, if you're desperate, I can get it done. No, I'm never going to be desperate for somebody who doesn't want to do it or can't do it. It's not that she doesn't want to do it. She can't do it. Yeah. And for her to reach out and cancel, I would rather she cancels. I never asked her when she's going to feel better. I don't want to put that. When can you fit me in? That's the least of your worries.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so what tip are you going to say?
I was going to say about boundaries. Saying no is about boundaries. And this is something that I don't know about you, but I've had so many conversations about this of late, of what are boundaries and why is it so important to know them? Because the thing is that one of the things that I think is really important is that we educate other people how to treat us. Right? And so if we are not aware of what our boundaries are, and we are allowing people to say, Moira, you can come and do this, and Moira will do this, and without me having a sense of what is my boundaries, and no, I'm not available for that. No, I'll call me again another time. These interweave really, really importantly, because, and it's going back to the thing I've already said here, is that saying no doesn't mean I'm never going to do it or I'm never available for that. But just it's about saying, I just checked in with my energy and it's not that great right now. Like my example about the leading a guided meditation. I actually did have to cancel a live meditation because I was sick. And I was like, to your point, like your hairdresser, I could have said, hey, I said I was going to do it. And so now come hell or high water, I'm going to do it. No, when you're doing something like that, you can't.
No, I'm a firm believer on that whole energy thing. But you're right. The boundaries are, I don't like that word boundaries.
I'm
thing.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Whip you 20 lashes. Probably shouldn't even joke about that, actually.
Good job, you're on the other side of the world.
Yeah, just as well. Yeah. Yeah. But boundaries can immobilize you, and you can hide behind your boundaries. But also just know that your boundaries, you can shift your boundaries at any time. I think that's the thing. Is just, yeah, I think the thing is boundaries mean, it doesn't mean you've got a concrete fence around you and you're not going to do anything. It just means right now I need to sleep because I can't function, or I need to do this, or I have to do this, or for me to get up tomorrow, I have to be in bed by 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m. or whatever it is. And that's your boundaries on that particular time. And that's okay. But boundaries are also movable. But it doesn't mean you have two sisters and one you're going to bend over backwards for and one you're not going to. It's not about that and then comparing. If you do have two sisters and you find yourself bending over backwards for one and not for the other, that's okay. That's still, you live in your heart with your choices. This is you to make your decision. And other people go, oh, that's not fair. You're nice to Annabelle, but you're not nice to me.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe you need to assess that.
Well, that's taking things personally, though, right?
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Don't take things personally. Yeah. And I think that's that thing. But boundaries can be moved at any time. And our boundaries are created from our past stories. And they're either positive or negative, and it's whatever it is. But just be okay with your boundaries, is what I'm saying, if that makes a sense. You know, some people go, well, I don't drive a manual car now because one time I was driving the car and I got stuck and I couldn't get out. Okay, that's fine. And so that's their ruling that they have as their boundaries. I'm never going to get into a manual car, or I'm not going to drive a manual car, or whatever. That's a crazy one. But that's their boundaries because of a story they've held on to. And that's okay. But just look at your boundaries and just start questioning, okay, where does this come from? Is, you know, what's going on with, you know, what was the thing about decisions? Who said this about the stories? Who said this and where did this come from? Just question those little things, and that's okay. Doesn't mean you have to go down on a spiral of crazy world.
No, but I think the thing about boundaries to me is they're a little bit softer than kind of some of the areas that you're going with them, because to me a boundary is just a line. Of course they can move, but it's a line that says, I'm honoring me. I'm going to always honor me.
Oh yeah, yep.
So it's got so this whole thing about saying no.
I've gone on the no, never. No, never. No, I'm behind this brick wall. Never, it's never going to happen. So there's Deborah's boundaries. There's Deborah's boundaries compared to Moira's boundaries. No, never. No, done. Move away. Thank you. Goodbye. My brick wall's just got now barbed wire at the top. No. Okay, so
that's funny. And so I like what you said, and it's that's all around personal awareness though too. But where I'm coming from with this idea of the saying no guilt free is that it's almost like somebody offers you something or requests something, and you need to just pause for a minute, and you can even if it's just a kind of, okay, let's just be and breathe on this for a moment, and then you respond, and you're responding from a place of saying, thank you so much for your offer or your request. I've just checked in with my energy and it's not there right now.
Yeah.
So no, that's it.
Yeah.
So there's an honoring piece here. That's where I'm kind of coming from with that.
Yeah. Different to Deborah's boundaries. You're just going to put barbed wire up on it. but it is. Yeah, good luck with that. But I do love that it's an honoring piece. I love the way Moira said it's an honoring piece for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, going back to don't take it personally, and that is I'm just jumping back to that one, because that is one of those things about saying no, when people go, but you did it last time, and and you start going, oh, maybe I can do it. It's only going to take me 2 minutes.
Do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a couple who he's a rugby player, she's a wife. That sounds he's got a purpose, she hasn't. That's what it sounded like just as I said that. And she would always pack his bag when he'd go away for a rugby trip. And he asked her one day, he said, "Oh, have you packed my bag for tomorrow?" She's like, "No, I haven't had a chance." And he's like, "Well, why not?" She's like, "Well, I haven't had a chance. Can't you just pack it?" "No, you've been packing my bag for the last 20, 25 years for every rugby trip. What's going on there?" And she's like, I don't have the brain capacity to do it. And he got really angry. It's like, "But you've always done it." And she's like, I'm just going to pack his bag. Anyway, she packed his bag with odd socks and some with no socks and some with everything. So didn't go down too well. They're now separated now.
Yes. How did that work out for you?
How's that going? And yes, she set herself up for packing his rugby bag for the last 20 odd years. So much so that he was like, "But I don't know what to pack."
Right.
Because he's delegated it so much to her that for her she can do it with her eyes shut. Okay, I need to pack this and this, how many days, and this isn't this done, because it's easy for her. But when her brain's not in that capacity, or he's peeved her off, don't get someone, if you've peeved your partner off and they're packing your bag to go away, personally, don't go begging, but you do it all the time, because you're just going to cruise for a bruising.
Yep. But that's such a, because that's that whole thing of
you do it all the time.
you do, yeah, it's obligation. And yeah,
and it is that, but you do it for me. You're like, what don't you love me anymore?
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's up the ante on that one.
Yeah, let's just throw that one out there. Don't you love me anymore? Yeah, I love you enough to say no. I'm not packing your bag.
Yes.
I actually talked about that packing bag with someone recently, and they said, "Well, why didn't she just pack all her lingerie in his bag?" Like, I think she was not going to go down that path. I think she was pretty angry with him. It's like, "Oh, I would have packed all my lingerie and just said, 'Oh, you've got my bag instead.'"
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Yeah, because I'm going on a trip myself. We got it messed up.
yeah. I just sorry you took all my lingerie and one toothbrush, but no toothpaste. Yeah. But she has set herself up for doing that forever. She had set herself up until she said no, and then when her boundaries came up and went, "I'm not going to do this anymore."
Yeah.
You've done that for 20 years. It takes a little bit of time. You can't just go no. Well, you can, but there's going to be a little bit of.
There's going to be fallout. There's going to be fallout from it.
But you've done it every second weekend for 20 years.
But see, that's back to what I said earlier in our conversation here, is that we educate others how to treat us. Because if you always showed up and did it, whether you wanted to or not, then it would be it's that, like, of course he would feel challenged and kind of like, what the hell, how come? Because he wouldn't have seen it coming, right?
I know. Well, there was no pre-warning. There was no nothing. She was just tired, and she was like, "I'm not packing your bag. I really don't care anymore." Like, but I think yes, there was a little bit of she was peeved. Yeah. She was absolutely peeved, and there was a lot going on for her to say, "No, I'm not packing your bag." By the time it got to that point, there was a lot happening.
Well, but also perhaps she could have softened it, or brought in her upsets step by step instead of packing them down. So she's packing up her upsets, stuffing them down
into a very big backpack.
Yes.
And then then it just suddenly explodes like those little party things that come
party poppers.
Yeah, party poppers. That's it. Yeah, boom. What? But you've never told me you didn't like packing my bag. And that's exactly it. It's just that is just a broken communication, and that's it. But being able to say no guilt free, and being able to say no, that doesn't work for me now.
Yeah.
And, when you say no, you can do things like you can say, no, that doesn't work for me now.
Mhm.
Or no, I can't. Is there anyone else who you can ask?
Yeah.
No. Well, just have a think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly they're like, is there anyone else you can ask? If I said to Moira, is there anyone, and Moira's like, no, because I've always asked you. For him, he's always asked her for the last 20 years.
Right.
So is there anyone else you can ask? No. Apart from we did find out that his mother used to pack his bag.
So it was really entrenched for him.
It was absolutely, he's never packed his bag.
Right.
Like,
Poor
and I
baby.
couldn't believe
Poor
that a
baby.
50-year-old had never packed a
That's
bag
funny.
to go away for rugby. I was left with what? You're what? Oh, look, I love you as a person, but seriously, you've never packed your own bag? But he's always had that. So to him, that was a big shock.
Mm-hmm.
To her, she's been thinking about for the last, I don't know how many years, packing his bag, that she's disgruntled with it.
Right.
Speak up.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Yeah.
I can show you how to do it. Or can you make it easier? So if you're going to pack your bag, now this may sound like stupidness, but this was the nail that broke the relationship. This was the finale. There was definitely a lot of niggles before then.
Of course.
But, you can say, look, how about I make a list?
Yeah.
This is every second weekend you're packing his bag, just for the record.
Mm-hmm.
How about I make a list and you can make your own?
Yeah.
I'll make a list and we can laminate it. So when it comes to bag packing, 4 pairs of socks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, just make it simple. So when you would go say no, it doesn't work for me now, or no, do you know anyone else? Or the other one is, no, can I help you ask around?
Yep.
Because
that's a good one.
Because that, someone says to me, can you do something? And I'm like, no. God, I couldn't think of anything worse. But I'll go, hey, I'll put it on my social media and ask if somebody can help.
Yeah.
Because we all know somebody who knows somebody. Now, I'm not saying use social media or anything, but there may be something now. It's not a no and walk away, but it's a no. It's another softening of a no, but it's actually because you want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I can't spend 4 hours doing that, but I can probably help you find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask around, put on your social media, tell them to keep a monitor of your social media, and you'll see who can do it.
Or depending on your energy, you could maybe say, no, I'm not available for 4 hours, but I could do an hour.
Would an hour help you get you started?
Mm-hmm.
It's just about what works with you. And I know you said, although I didn't write it, oh yeah, no story, no justification. You don't have to, no, I don't want to do it because last time you moaned to me about this and this and this. Last time you only packed 3 socks and whatever. None of this stuff. If you have a problem back then, last time, you need to address that last time now, not wait till.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about stuffing things down, because to your point, when we stuff things down, like, oh, I know I should say no,
the party popper,
but I'll just, I'll just put up with it for this one time, and then this one time, and then this one time, and then you just do become like this volcano eruption. And you're like, no.
And it comes from nowhere, and often the person who's received it is like, I didn't know you didn't like doing this.
Precisely.
I didn't know.
Precisely. And how would they know? Because you've just been putting up with it. And
then that person's like, well, if I knew that, I would have done something different.
Yeah, I would have asked somebody else or enrolled figured out how to do it myself.
Yeah. I think we're fearful of speaking our truth. I think that would probably be the whole, I don't want to upset people. But you're actually not. I believe if you speak with love, so that's another, I don't even know what tip number we're up to, but I'm going to say speak with love.
Yeah, like that. With love and courtesy. Yeah. Love and courtesy, I think, is an important part, right?
Yeah.
So being courteous to the other, but still owning just doesn't work for me. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, it is. And just, no, that's not going to work. Or no.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I remember actually this just as I was saying that, I remember this. I went to a New Year's Eve party, and I don't know if you can call them parties. You call them parties when you just sit around the table and you eat and you chin wag, and mind you, we did get up and dance. So you will say a party, this gathering. And somebody said, someone said something to me, and I said, oh no, thank you. And then I must have said it like 3 times to something, and the woman goes, wow, you say no a lot. And my partner, she just about fell over. She goes, oh no, she doesn't say no a lot. she actually says yes often, but no, I wouldn't say she says no a lot. But it became this whole discussion. This woman says, "Oh, I never say no," and I was like, "What?" I literally, I was a chiropractic extreme at that point. I spun around. I went, "What?" She's like, "I never say no," and I'm like, "How do you not say no?"
Yeah.
And then everyone went, "Yeah, because she always burns herself out and she gets so exhausted that she does things for people and she has to take herself to bed for 3 or 4 days and this is this." And I was just, and this poor woman was like, "Thanks very much, everybody." You know, and they're like, "Well, we don't even ask you to do certain things now because we know it puts you always say yes, and it puts you into a spiral of depression, you know, mood, all that." And it was really interesting. And it is that say no. So we just literally practice saying no, just there.
Good.
"Would you like some of this?" "No, thank you." And it was just, and she was like, "Oh, but I did want that." I said, "Well, don't say no. They're offering you something." She goes, "But I thought we were practicing." I'm like, "We are practicing, but you've actually got to mean it." She goes, "But I did want a piece of that crayfish." I'm like, "Well, then say yes to that." But it was all about the part of saying no and saying no with love. And that's it.
Yeah.
Full stop, end of story, move on.
Yeah.
And I think that's that thing, is because we do have to do that. "No, I don't want," you know, so speak with, like, "No, yuck, no, God, no, I wouldn't want to do that."
And so to your point that when you're saying no, thank you, that's being courteous because you're honoring that somebody just offered you something out of kindness, out of being a good hostess for the party or whatever it was. But you say no, and it's like, "No, I see you and I appreciate that you offered me that, but it doesn't work for me." No.
Yeah.
That's it.
We do get ourselves in such an absolute
Pickle.
absolute pickle. It is a pickle.
It is a pickle.
It is a pickle. It is a pickle. But we do get ourselves in such a state that we don't have to. We absolutely don't have to. And you know, I was just thinking about something. I was just trying to figure it out. You know, when people, and I put it on my social media, I just had to quickly pull it up, and I wrote, "When you have trolls, moaners, or gossipers, this is my response: thank you, I wish you well."
I like that.
And I think that's a great one. So if you say no to someone, they're like, "Oh, but you're really good at that," to go, "Thank you, I wish you well." Walk away from it.
Yeah.
Like, don't engage. If somebody's pippy with you because you've said no, yes, they're still your people, but right now they're not your people.
That's right.
So thank you, I wish you well. Thank you, it's not for me. That's it. Thank you, I wish you well. It's just an end of conversation. There is no further engagement from there.
There's nothing else to say. Yeah.
That is not even an exclamation mark. It's just a full stop. It doesn't need an exclamation mark. It's just done. Okay.
But it's done with kindness.
And that's exactly it. It speaks with love and courtesy. And I wish you well, because you do wish them well. You're not going to thank you, but no thank you, and I wish you to fall down the step. No.
No. You're not going to do that.
I do wish you well to find somebody else to do it and moving on. And I think that's that stuff. We think people are not going to leave. We think people are going to leave us. Our friends are going to leave us if we keep saying no.
Yeah, or we're going to be, they won't love and accept us anymore.
Yeah.
But you know, this is going to what you just said about fearful of speaking our truth. Because they think, gosh, if I spoke my truth, this person's not going to speak to me again, or maybe they're not going to invite me again, or request my services, and so we get into this. But you know, underneath that is a lack of self-worth, self-worth and self-confidence. Because if you really are being aligned with your integrity and, you know, speaking from your heart, then sure, you may upset some people sometimes. But it's okay.
It's how you say it.
Yes.
And that's how you say it. I know I say things so quickly and then I go, oh, too late, it's out. And I'll just carry on, because it can sound harsh to the other person. And especially, I do have a masculine tone and a heavy tone that can go boom, boom, boom. And if people want me to speak softly and nurture and do all that, I do find it hard.
You mean
like you? like Moira. She has both sides, don't you worry. I can do that.
True.
But for me, sometimes I just go for that whole bang, bang, bang. But I'm speaking with love, and I I make sure that what I'm giving has got love behind it.
Yeah.
And it's that, and it may have a big love impact glitter bomb that's being thrown at you.
It might be a wee bit of a zing behind that, but there is no,
Yeah.
and that's I so
There might be
know
a
that
bruise
about
with
you.
there might be a bruise with your glitter bomb I'm throwing at you. But it's
Yeah.
definitely, it's definitely there, because we do have that. But I do love that fearful of speaking the truth, because if those people are not your people, they're not your people.
That's
Right
right.
now, they're not your people. Down the track, they may be your people.
That's
Yeah.
right. And again, because that's back into that no doesn't mean never. No
Yeah.
doesn't mean that that they're never going to be your people, or that you're never going to align with what they're requesting or suggesting. Right? It's okay. It's okay. Allow yourself to flow and tell the truth about what is right for you in this moment.
Yeah.
And know that it's about evolving and just allowing ourselves to really be who we truly are from the core. Right?
Yeah. From the heart, from your soul.
Absolutely. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I mean when I say core, essence,
Yeah.
heart, soul.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah. Right down.
Yeah. Excellent tips here, my dear. This has been a really wonderful conversation, and I know we're going to start looking at recapping and reviewing
I don't know how many I've got, because I forgot to number some.
Actually, so did I. I'm going to kick us off, actually, because
So
I know
can I just say that if we miss any out, can you put them in the
chat.
Put them in the chat? Yeah, let us know,
or message us. Yes.
I'm sure between us we might have missed a couple.
Oh,
yeah.
probably. And
whatever.
I mean, yeah, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, definitely the ones we've missed. Yeah.
But I'm going to kick us off with the recap, because I started the conversation with that 3 questions, using those 3 questions. Is this good for me? Is this good for the other or the others? And do I want to? And any of those that say no, then it's a no. And it's a comfortable no, that just no. No, thank you. No, with courtesy and kindness, but no.
Yeah. Perfect. So that's number 1, is the assess. Number 2 I have is own it.
Yeah.
Own your decision. And that is no, or yes, or maybe.
Yeah.
Just own it. It's own it and just
tell the truth with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just take that in. Yeah. Yeah.
You actually shared another tip right close on the back of that one,
yes.
as the respect others' decisions, which I thought was so important, because of that, the example you gave.
That's because of that sober driver, sober person. Yeah. I really liked that.
I think it's excellent. Yeah, I think it's just because somebody says, no, I'm not going to have a piece of cake. Oh, just one. It's okay. It won't harm you. It's like, no.
I know. Oh, no, I'm a highly strung diabetic, and sure, I'll just have one piece of cake.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, one piece won't hurt you. How do you know I'm not allergic to 10 of the 11 ingredients in there?
I know.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a funny story. I used to say, because I used to be in social circles that would happen a lot. Oh, just one. And I said, no, I'm allergic to that. That used to be my thing. I was like, no, I'm allergic to that. Just to bypass that whole thing. Oh, just have one. It won't hurt you. No, I'm allergic to it.
Well, funny you say that, because I was talking to a friend, I was talking to my daughter about one of her friends, and when she was at school, there was a lot of pressure to drink, and her friend would always say, oh, I can't, I'm on antibiotics.
Oh.
And I thought, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You shouldn't have to give an explanation, but when you're dealing with teenagers, they're still finding their groove just as much as us.
Yes.
So I liked that. No, I can't. I'm on antibiotics. Oh, what are you on antibiotics for? Yeah. Well, then people go, what are you on antibiotics for? Because I'm not well. Anyway, moving on. But I did like that excuse, but you don't have to. It's just respect others' decision.
Yeah. Super important. Super important. I thought that was a great tip.
I've got one saying no story, no justification.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Just
no.
Just no. That was the tip, to just say, just no. You don't need to explain it or justify or tell a story. But also remembering that no doesn't mean never. Right? So it's like, so sometimes that's part of the justification. No, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm too tired. I've got all this. No, it's just no for right now. But then, stay open to the invitations or.
Well, you and I have got a program both in our head that we've actually filtered out, and when it came to doing it, we both actually said no because the timing wasn't right.
That's right.
And so it doesn't mean that program that we've got is never going to happen. It just meant the time. In fact, I think we've probably put the timing off twice. I think must be time to redo that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, actually,
it's still there, and I know it's still there.
It's in my diary still. It's actually in my diary. It shows up Friday mornings as if I was going to be online. But it's a no, right? It's a no at that time. And I think that's that thing of being aware. It's definitely not a no, never. It's just sitting there. It will happen when the timing's right. And I think that's
knowing that with the awareness that the click we'll both feel it. It wouldn't be now Moira's ready and Deb's not, and Deb's ready and Moira's not. It'll be a click that you both come together and go, aha, that's it.
It'll be a hell yes.
Hell yes, absolutely. I'm all about the hell yes.
And is it good for me, good for others? Do I want to? Hell yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another tip that I had here that we talked about, and Deb doesn't like this word very much, but I talked about boundaries. but I was talking about it from the place of it's honoring my energy. I'm looking after my energy. I'm not making it about anybody else, or I'm not getting stuck in past stories. I'm just saying, no, my energy is not quite right, so I'm going to say no to coming up. We talked about me leading a guided meditation, and if I'm really, really tired and I've got lots of buzzing going on in my head, I'm going to say no, because I can't really be there and engage in the way I know I'm capable of. So very important part.
I love that. And so I've got I've got glitter bomb. Glitter bomb with your energy and you and others. If you're not putting the right energy in, people will feel it, and that's others as well. So if you say, we talked about obligation, so if you say, if you say yes and you've got that that energy and you don't want to do it, people are going to feel that. So that's just icky energy for you, them, others, everything. So glitter bomb that one.
Yeah, so you're honoring them by saying no, in actual fact.
Totally. And you know that one door shuts, someone opens the next door, and it's far bigger.
Yeah.
And I think, and I've also got another one here, which I'm just going to entangle. Be impeccable with your words. And so they sort of jump back to the other thing is about own your decision, tell the truth, and that just be impeccable with your words. And that's the old 4 agreements.
4 agreements. That's agreement number 1. I have here to speak with love and courtesy, courtesy and kindness. So it's not like getting snappy and or a volcano eruption. No, it's no, thank you. And we talked about different ways of, no, I'm not available, but maybe I could give you an hour, or no, but is there somebody else you could ask, or no, but how about doing it this way, or it's like just softening it, because you do want to you want to be of service and kindness, but maybe you're just not available to do whatever the task is that's being requested.
I love the way you said you want to be of service and kindness. We do. We're not out to be an a-hole all day long.
That's right.
Even if you think you are, or people are doing it, they're not doing it to do that. But when you speak with love and courtesy, you yourself feel better, and you're healing your soul just as much as them. So I think that's a great one.
Super important one.
Yep.
And then the last tip I had was about.
Does it start with F?
If.
Does it start with F?
If. Being fearful of speaking your truth.
Yeah, that's it. Did you not get my F? Did you not get my accent? F. Does it start with F?
If.
That sounds like an E. Yes, F. Fearful of speaking the truth.
Fearful of speaking your truth. And we talked about that a bit, about being, you have the worthiness, like this is self-worth, confidence, and peace, inner peace of you confidently speak and say, no, it's not right for me.
Yeah. And if that person keeps asking you and you keep doing stuff and you're like, and that's where that fair exchange, I talk about fair exchange, comes into play. I'm helping you, you're helping me.
Right.
And disgruntledness comes when I help you more and you don't help me.
Right.
Or when I wouldn't say you, I help you more. One party is out of fair exchange,
Right.
and that's where that disgruntledness
then it
comes into
causes
play.
this obligation.
Yeah.
But this goes back to, I said in our conversation, is that we educate others how to treat us. And in that example that you gave about the suitcase being packed for 20 odd years, she educated her partner that this was going to be the way it was going to be. And that's how come it had to become a volcano eruption to say no.
And there could have been some guidance before that.
Yes.
There could have been you're leaving in 5 hours time and you haven't packed your bag. I'm not doing it. No, what? Definitely. But I mean, he's had his rugby bag packed since pretty much all his life, right from when he was 4 or 5 or whatever, all the way up to 50.
Right.
But it is that fearful of speaking our truth.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it anyway. So speak from the loving heart of love and courtesy
you have
and
the
kindness.
right.
Yeah.
You are worthy of that. So you are worthy to say no guilt-free. Excellent tips, my dear. Do you have any last minute? No, thank you.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't actually. I think we've covered some amazing, but I'd love to know what other people think. If we've missed anything off or what they've got.
Did we miss anything? And how well do you say no? Did this lift you? So let us know, dear listeners, where were you? We're going to do our check-in now with our scale of 0 to 10. We'd love to know where you were at the beginning. How did you do in the middle check-in? And where are you feeling now? And where are you feeling now, Deb? We were both at 2.
I'm going to say a 0.5 because I've got a few things on my list to do. And there's actually one job I have kicked I just remembered there's one job that I've kicked my feet in doing. Because I said yes. I said yes. And even yesterday I said, no, it's not a problem. Yes, I'll do it. Have I done it? No. 24 hours later, I still haven't even thought about it. All I get is negative thoughts come to my mind. So clearly it's not going to light me up. So I'm going to say a 0.5 because I'm going to address that this morning. Yeah.
That sounds good. For myself, I'm actually at a 0. I feel really good about this. I like the
you got nothing on your list to do.
I haven't. Well, I'm closing my day off now.
Oh, I'm starting my day. Yeah.
You're starting your day. I'm closing things down. And I have a list already written here.
For tomorrow.
All the stuff for tomorrow.
Yeah. Perfect.
Excellent.
What a beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So that's fantastic.
Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, dear listeners. If you like this episode, we'd love for you to share this. Share this with your friends, your colleagues, your clients, your people that you love, people that you say yes to, and people that you say no to.
Yeah, don't forget to share it to those. So when you say no, just send them, say no, thank you, I wish you well, and send them the link to this podcast.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. But we would love for you to share with us how the conversation impacts you, but also for you to share the episode, the content with others all around the world. That's the intent here.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, dear listeners.
Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.